and welcome. My name is Renee Schimmer. I'm the product manager for HCL Connections. Today I'm going to spend a few minutes to talk about the latest release that we're putting out there, which is called HCL Connections 6 CR6. CR6 stands for Cumulative Refresh, and I'll tell you a little bit about what's in this first release since we transitioned over to HCL software. So very exciting because this is the first time we are releasing code out of HCL software for connections. And with that, we are continuing the quarterly cadence of cumulative refreshes to our customers and partners to make sure that we keep a steady drumbeat and have new capabilities in the hands of our end users. CR6 is a release that does a little bit of groundwork. We have focused more on fixes and infrastructure. So first of all, I want to spend a moment here on the component pack. The component pack is a suite of solutions, including OrientMe and the customizer, that customers can install to add additional capability on the new technology stack using containers, etc. We replaced Solar with Elasticsearch throughout the component pack. We used Elasticsearch before, and for a while we've been using both Solar and Elasticsearch. Now we unified everything on Elasticsearch, so this makes it easier to install, maintain, etc. So that will lower the total cost of ownership for our customers and partners. We also have something called Customizer Lite now available with the component pack. I have a slide on that, so I'll get back to it in just a moment. I'll also have an individual slide for the next line item here, which is a really exciting end user facing new capability if you are on a mobile device, and this is the ability to create a community through your telephone or tablet. And then lastly, again back on the component pack, we created additional resources around enablement and documentation, since this was one of the feedback items that we got from our customers in the idea portal as well as in conversations, that installing the component pack could be made a little bit easier. And often it was just a matter of additional information on certain steps that needed to be taken to get it running. So look out for additional documentation and videos, etc. Also, we updated a number of components in the component pack, third-party components that we leverage in there. So this is now up to date and with all the latest versions of each of the required individual components. So let's take a look at the Connections Customizer Lite. Well, first of all, what is it? The Customizer is an incredibly powerful tool that you get with the component pack that makes it easier to customize the connections experience. Rather than having to go in and do heavy coding, you can now much easier change the user interface, the look and feel, the colors, the fonts, etc., even to some extent business logic within the connections environment by simply uploading JavaScript and having that run every time a user requests a certain page via a proxy server that feeds that additional code into the browser at the end user's request. We actually made one big change. We had the Customizer Lite available as a proof of concept, but we have not yet formally GA'd it, GA being general availability, because it was not available in a high availability environment. And that is the big change that we're adding here with CR6, that we now officially support a production deployment with high availability for the customizer. So where before you probably just used it to kick the tires a little bit, now with using Customizer Lite, if you only want that and not the full component pack, you can do that. So let's shift gears and talk a little bit about the basic Create community on mobile. I recorded a full video on this capability alone, which will be available on YouTube shortly, that goes through all the capabilities. But what's important here is that, of course, you've always been able to create a community and connections through the browser on your desktop, but so far this was not available to users using a mobile device, and we just added that. So now on a phone or a tablet, you can go to the community catalog page, click the plus sign on the iPad or the menu behind the three dots on the phone, and hit create community, providing name, description, and what type of access should be managed with this community. Connections will then create the community using the standard layout and the defined set of standard apps. This is the first release of this capability, so there are a number of things that we already know we will add later. So keep an eye out for improvements coming in this area at a later time. Another feature that we're adding in the CR6 timeframe on mobile is the ability to paste a link or URL into a status update on your mobile device, and then Connections will automatically render a preview within your status update, so users who are following you see the rendering of the URL preview in that status update. And then lastly, as a summary, I just want to get the point across again that the acquisition and the transfer over to HCL was just 2 months ago. And we're really proud to keep the promise of coming out with a CR release within the 3 months time frame after the close of deal. So this is what we're doing, and then end of September, this CR6 will be available for download. But in addition to what I talked about earlier, there's also a list of fixes that you can see in the small print here on the right. So as usual, CR not only contains larger items, it also contains always a list of fixes that we make available with that particular CR. With that, I hope you enjoyed this update and hopefully provided some useful information. Thank you, and talk to you next time. Bye bye.